James Carter had always been a man of the land, deeply rooted in the traditions of his Texas ranch. Horses were his life, and among them, his prized stallion stood out as the strongest and fastest. Thunder was more than just a horse to James. He was a symbol of a testament to years of hard work and dedication. But lately, something was amiss. Every morning, James would find Thunder exhausted, drenched in sweat, and barely able to stand. The strangest part? Thunder hadn't been ridden in days. Concerned, James called the vet, who conducted a thorough examination. The diagnosis was clear. Thunder was in perfect health. Each morning, the stallion looked as if he had just run a marathon. Confused and increasingly worried, James decided to investigate the mystery himself. He installed a surveillance camera in the barn, determined to uncover what was happening during the night. That evening, James set up the camera and went to bed, eager to review the footage in the morning. At sunrise, he rushed to his laptop and played back the recording. What he saw left him speechless. As soon as the ranch lights dimmed and silence settled over the land, the barn doors creaked open. From the darkness emerged a shadowy figure, a teenage boy, no older than 16, wearing an old, weathered cowboy hat. Moving with a gentle confidence, the boy approached Thunder, whispering softly as he placed a saddle on the horse's back. To James's astonishment, the boy climbed onto Thunder and rode him straight out of the barn. James watched, stunned, as the boy guided Thunder into the open fields, galloping under the moonlight like a ghostly rider. For nearly 2 hours, the mysterious visitor pushed Thunder to his limits, racing across the hills, jumping fences, and eventually circling back just before dawn. Quietly, he returned the stallion to the barn, removed the saddle, patted his neck, and disappeared into the night. James couldn't believe his eyes. Who was this boy, and why was he sneaking into his barn every night? Determined to catch the intruder himself, James prepared for the next night. Armed with a flashlight and his rifle, just in case, he hid outside the barn and waited. Right on schedule, the barn doors creaked open, and the boy slipped inside. James flipped on the lights. "Hold it right there," he commanded. The boy froze, his eyes wide with fear. He looked scruffy, wearing torn clothes and dusty boots. His face was thin, and it was clear he hadn't eaten properly in days. "Who are you, and why are you riding my horse?" James demanded. The boy lowered his head. "I'm Tommy, sir. I didn't mean no harm. I love horses. I used to have one, but my family lost everything. Thunder reminds me of him. I only rode him at night 'cause I didn't think you'd ever let me." James studied the boy, his anger slowly fading into understanding. Tommy wasn't a thief. He was just a kid with nowhere to go, longing for something he had lost. After a long silence, James sighed. "You love horses?" Tommy nodded. "Then how about you work for me?" James offered. "Take care of Thunder properly. Ride him during the day like a real rancher." Tommy's eyes lit up. "You mean it?" James nodded. "But no more sneaking around at night. Deal?" "Deal!" Tommy grinned. From that night on, Thunder was no longer exhausted. He had a new friend and caretaker, one who rode him the right way. In the warmth of the Texas sun, days turned into weeks, and Tommy proved himself to be a hard-working and dedicated young ranch hand. He woke at dawn, tending to Thunder and the other horses, ensuring they were well-fed, groomed, and exercised. James watched with quiet satisfaction as Tommy adapted to ranch life, learning the ropes of horse care, fence mending, and even roping cattle. One afternoon, as the sun blazed overhead, James found Tommy standing by the corral, staring into the distance. "Something on your mind, kid?" James asked, stepping beside him. Tommy hesitated before speaking. I never thought I'd belong anywhere again." James nodded thoughtfully. "Life has a way of surprising you." Tommy turned to him, eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, sir, for everything." James clapped him on the back. "You've earned it, son." Word spread around the ranch about Tommy, and soon the other ranch hands took him under their wing, teaching him everything from riding techniques to branding cattle. He quickly became part of the ranch family, laughing and working alongside the men who had once been strangers. One evening, as they sat around a crackling fire, James shared stories of his youth, recalling how he had once been a lost boy himself before someone had given him a chance. "Sometimes," he said, "all a person needs is a fresh start." Tommy listened intently, realizing that fate had brought him to this place for a reason. Thunder was no longer just a stolen ride in the night. He was a friend, a partner, and a symbol of the new life life Tommy had found. Years passed, and Tommy grew into a fine young rancher, taking on more responsibility. When James eventually retired, he left the ranch in Tommy's capable hands. What had started as a desperate boy sneaking into a barn had turned into a lifelong journey of purpose and belonging. And under the vast Texas sky, Tommy rode Thunder, not as a trespasser, but as the rightful caretaker of the land they both called home. The bond between man and horse, forged in the quiet hours of the night, had blossomed into a legacy that would endure for generations. Tommy's story became a testament to the power of second chances and the unbreakable spirit of the American West. As the years rolled on, Tommy's reputation as a skilled rancher grew. He expanded the ranch, introducing new breeds of cattle and modern techniques while preserving the traditions that had shaped him. Thunder, now older but still spirited, remained by Tommy's side, a constant reminder of where it all began. Visitors to the ranch would often hear the tale of the boy who rode by moonlight, a story that inspired many to believe in the possibility of redemption and the transformative power of compassion. Tommy, once a lost soul, had found his place in the world, and in doing so, he had given others hope. And so, under the endless expanse of the Texas sky, the legacy of James Carter's ranch lived on, carried forward by the boy who had once been a stranger. Thunder's hoofbeats echoed across the land, a rhythmic reminder of the journey that had brought them all together, a journey of trust, resilience, and the unyielding bond between man and horse. If you enjoyed this heartwarming tale of second chances and the bond between man and horse, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the spirit of the American West. Your support helps us bring more inspiring tales to life. Thank you for reading.